Saba. I drive the number 70 Junior Late Model at Peterborough Speedway, and you're watching ONTrack Weekly.
We are back here on GeForce TV. I am your host, Cam K. We're repping Steve McCaw tonight here on the show. We've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. One thing I want to get out here and say right away, we are getting closer to 20,000 subscribers here on GeForce TV. That's right, 20,000. We're sitting at, we're 400 away. 19,600 subscribers. We're going to get there, guys. We're going to get to 20,000 subscribers. I'm here for it. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to GeForce TV. That is going to be your home for Us Week in Speedway Racing every weekend. Okay? No doubt. You're going to have a lot of fun if you watch some stuff happening up at the Big O. Always some great stuff happening. It's going to be a good show. We have got Thomas Gibbons coming in from Sauble Speedway. He was one of the two winners in the junior late model openers out at Sauble. We're going to have Andy Camrath joining us. He won one of the Legends features. He's going to be running around in some Legend cars this year. We're talking to him about his son, Rylan Camrath's run in junior late models as well. It looked very impressive in his limited starts. Following that, Peterborough Speedway had their season opener with the mini stocks on the card, and Mike Nelson, in his return to full-time competition, was able to take home the feature win. We'll have Mike Nelson on the show, and then Full Throttle Motor Speedway, one of their bone stock winners this week. We have got our good friend Nathan Dettwiler, who was able to steer his way back into victory lane in the lowball racing number 4. It's going to be a good show. We're going to be working on some tight timelines, try and get everybody in, but I appreciate all the guests being interested in coming on. I know it's not always a lot of fun when we have some of the technical glitches, but hopefully everything's going to work really well. Right now we're actually waiting on Thomas to get on the call. They're just having a little bit of technical glitches, which does happen from time to time, so no problem there. Yes, Jacob Sutcliffe was coming hard. I'm going to put it out there just before Thomas joins us. If you haven't checked already, Varney just put out a post about an hour ago, and it's very important for those that race out at Varney in the bone stocks. I'm in love with this post. Now, one thing that you guys know I have been talking about on the show for a long time is tracks working together. And this is exactly the type of thing I'm talking about. Let's see if we can bring it over into this box here. So let's just, come on, work with me. Let's just work and put this together. Okay. So as it says, attention, Full Throttle Bone Stock drivers. On June 14th, Bone Stocks are not scheduled to race at Full Throttle. This was done because Peterborough Speedway has a 50-lap Bone Stock shootout scheduled on that date. We would like to encourage our Bone Stock drivers to attend this event and would appreciate you representing your home track well. Now listen to this. As an incentive to support this event, Full Throttle Motor Speedway is offering $500 bonus to any registered Full Throttle Bone Stock driver who wins the 50-lap Bone Stock Shootout at Peterborough Speedway. The bonus will be added to the qualified winner's pay for the next event they compete in at Full Throttle Motor Speedway. Good luck to all drivers who attend this. Absolutely love this call. JP and Paul, bravo. If that was their doing, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I understand that maybe some people don't understand making that call. But in this day, the Bone Stocks are hot right now. They're the hottest division across the province, bar none. There's no debating this. They have the best counts across the province. Routinely. Full Throttle's getting 23 to 26 each week. I think they actually had 26 this past week, perhaps. Flamborough's taken a little bit of a dip. They started with 24, 25. They're down to like 14, 15. And then they got to about 16, 17. Sunset is down to about 8 to 10. And then you also have Delaware Speedway, which continues to set the mark around 44 to 43 cars every week. I think what we're going to see in the Bone Stock division at Peterborough this year is probably a little bit higher of a count as well. That's going to be very, very possible that we're going to see those counts also look very, very good. So absolutely okay with a move like this. We've talked about it. You have to work together in this day and age to improve motorsports across the board. And we're going to see a lot of that. I thought just seeing some of the drivers that were at Sunset go and travel. You had Caleb McConnell and Wyatt Sprung that finished and raced in the junior late model division at Sunset, then travel from Sunset to Sauble, make the second junior late model feature, and participated both events. That's the type of commitment we love to see. Seeing Brody Coates, Jacob Vanderbilt race Peterborough, and they've been racing Sunset multiple weeks already. So this is great. I think that we've got a great start with people doing the multiple track deal. I don't expect to see it all year, but this is exactly the type of stuff that we need to do because we know numbers are lower. Calvin Reeser, who is a weekly contender in the Bone Stock Championship, he states that we usually have 10 to 12 guys. A couple guys moved around. They are running full time, so we expect 10 for the rest of the season. Absolutely. So when those numbers are low, that's why it's important that we do have people that come in for those invitationals. They come in for those big events. We've already seen the Duncan Racing team. They came in. They brought, I think, 7 cars for their opening Bone Stock weekend. You'll see Phil Gibbons, Only Fours with James Houghton, bring the 41 Ghost car out. You'll see BT Racing routinely traveling to different racetracks. So this is a very positive thing for the Bone Stock divisions. Obviously, something else that's looking really good, Allen Lincoln Cup coming up in 2 weeks, 14th of June at Sunset Speedway. It is a very packed card, be advised. They're there with the OSS and with the Legends. I'm just going to resend the invite because we are having some issues with Thomas getting on to the stream. I'll try it again here and see if that works. There's always some sort of technical glitch here, so that will shift some people a little bit later. We will have likely some overlap or some switch in the times because we were going to have Thomas on from 8:30 to 8:40. That will probably impact the rest of the lineup here tonight. We'll see if we can get people on with the regular times. We'll see if Andy's going to come on right at 8:40. If not, we'll use Andy Camrath then first. We do have some wiggle room in between Mike Nelson and so we'll try that and see if they can't get it to work. Then we can always try next week or the week after. Obviously, I know Thomas wants to be on the show. Sometimes tech stuff just doesn't work, and there's not much I can really do when we're live, unfortunately. So that happens. It's part of it, and it if anything, we'll try and get him on for 8:50 because we've got Andy Camrath that is waiting to come on the show, and so we'll update that. Now, if you guys don't know, and you might be living under, of course, Thomas Gibbons is available now. I'll just put it through here. Because they both showed up, of course, at the exact same time. That would be how it works. But we'll bring on Andy first because he got here before Thomas. He won the race to the Zoom chat, and I really appreciate Andy Camrath being on the show. Andy, how are you doing tonight?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Oh, obviously we're doing good because racing is back, and Andy Camrath is on my show, so that's always a good thing. Got yourself back into victory lane. It didn't take very long. Got adjusted to those legend cars pretty well. First off, how was the first couple of races that you had in those legend cars? Because they look mighty fun.
It's been pretty good. We started off at Sunset there on a pretty decent foot there. I think we ended up with a pair of seventh place finishes there, and was probably like an 80% happy, and then made some changes there, and just to kind of get ourselves a little bit better off, and had a pretty decent run there up at Sauble, and ended up winning one of the features, but we're off to a good start.
I think it's very important that we discuss kind of, Andy. You've kind of done everything in Ontario racing. So, what was the real draw to coming to the legend cars?
I can say probably there was two things. There was two things that pushed me away from like, big car racing, and one was the cost. Um, that was the big thing. Tires go up every year, fuel goes up every year. And the commitment level, I just, with my little guy racing, that was kind of the second thing. Like I just didn't have the time anymore. I didn't have the time to be spending 3, 4 nights a week out in the shop between, working on my little guy's car and work just in general. We're busy
Hmm.
at work here, so I kind of had to just draw it back a little bit. And my brother kind of he got one for his nephew or sorry, nephew, my nephew, his son, but and then basically said I should buy one, and I said screw it, and ended up with one, I guess.
And how are you finding it so far, Andy? Are they comparable at all to anything that you've driven before? No way.
Nothing. It's
Really?
it is by far, yeah, it doesn't compare to anything. I know some guys are like, oh, it's like, well, I've never driven a super late model, but they're like, it's like driving a super. I can't see it. Nothing like that. It is nothing like maybe a go-kart on steroids, I guess.
And you got to be out there, like you said, with your nephew. It's got to be cool that you were able to race with him. One of the things that I'm really excited for is we're going to see the battle between uncle and nephew all season long and see when he can finally get out there. He was really close, both races just a position behind you, so he might get you sooner than we expect.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been really really good to watch Cole develop there. He's a good little wheel. Me and Jade took off a little bit from him in the first feature, but in the second feature he was actually wheeling us in. So he's catching on to it pretty good. He's very he's smooth. He's very very smooth, and he listens, and he's going to be good for years to come.
Speaking of good for years to come, I think we can't deny that your little man is definitely showing a lot behind the wheel. He was one of my standouts last year in the junior late models, just based off of where he came from the first race of the season to the end of the season, where all of a sudden he's battling for podium finishes. And there he is, I think, right behind you. And so definitely want to know. What's it like seeing him going out there racing?
It's been good. It's been good. It was pretty good to to see him develop last year, every race he gets a little bit better. I get a lot of people and they push back and they're like, "Oh, he should be up here. He should be doing this." And I'm like, "Dude, he's 8 years old. He is 8 years old racing against some 14 or 15 years old, and we want him to do as good as he possibly can. Don't get us wrong, but at the same time, I don't want to put too much pressure on him either.
Yeah.
He's got to learn it the right way. So, but he's doing good. He's doing better than I was expecting him to do.
Well, that's definitely it. I mean, I think one of the things that is very difficult is, especially his first race out, he kind of hit the bumps really hard. It looked like it has upset the car. But I don't know, Rylan, how do you like racing so far?
Good.
Yeah, you like it good. So when are you gonna go out and race Legends with your dad?
Soon.
Soon.
So,
Okay, well there you go, Andy. I guess you're gonna have to go out and buy one.
I'll just give him mine at that point in time.
Well, on that, it's a very big possibility. Yeah, Sam Moore says we missed Rylan this weekend. Yeah, you were out running at Sauble Speedway. How was that experience?
Good.
Yeah, how do you like it compared to Sunset?
It's
Yeah,
different.
different. You think you can beat Carter pretty quickly?
Yes.
It's definitely fun to see because you guys got a lot of good friends. You have Josh Davenport, Thomas Gibbons is going to be on the show in a little bit. And then, of course, Kelly asks, where do you race? Well, you guys race both at Sunset. Is it going to be a combination this year, Andy?
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a little bit of I don't want to race up at Sauble just because it's my home, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to expose him to Sauble. I tried to get him to Peterborough last year, but it didn't work out so well. I just want to expose him to some different tracks. We love racing Sunset. Obviously, it's down the street, and we're gonna be there a bunch as well. But I think when we're up at Sauble with the Legend car, we're definitely gonna, and he's racing. We're gonna load it up and take it there and go from there. I just want some different exposure for him.
Well, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun to continue to watch, him grow and Billy Zardo says, "Hey Andy, any washers in that thing?"
I I learned my lessons.
There you go, Billy. There's your answer. It's awesome to see these young kids come out and join the racing families, and it's exciting for us especially because we get to see them move from their first races into second, third, fourth. You've obviously got to see Sauble Speedway a lot over the years, and Brad's in his second year as GM there. How are things looking out at the beach? It seems like they're having a bit of a renaissance, which is very nice to see.
Yeah, like uh, I raced up there from 99 to probably 2012, you know.
Yeah.
Um, it was a lot of years up there. It was a lot of good heydays. It's good to see some support. It's good to see the cars up there. Sauble's a great little track. It's a fun little track. Brad's doing a hell of a job up there as well. Like, we brought two cars up there and he was willing to move some things around to make sure, that we were taken care of as well. And we appreciate that kind of stuff. And he's doing a heck of a job up there right now. And I want to continue, obviously see growth everywhere, but Sauble's got a little bit of a dear spot in my heart. So I want to make sure it continues to do well as well.
I think one of the things that we can definitely look forward to is Kelly asks, did you race Mossport 2?
I never made that was one track I never made it to. I never made it to Mosport.
Oh, man, that would have been cool actually to see Andy out there. I've got to put this question out because I've put it out on social media before because I think the legend cars and bandoleros are the way to go. I think they're the way of the future. The fact that you can go into any province out west or out east or down south and race them, they're pretty like they're easy to get the parts for. Um, I want to know when the rest of the LRR team is going to come legend racing. And yes, I'm talking Sean Chenoweth. I want to see him in these legend cars with you. I want to see Kelly Balson go out there with you. I mean, literally everybody. Amanda, I think you guys could really put on some really, really, really fun shows.
Sean's I've told Sean a million times, and I think he doesn't. I'm gonna wedge him into mine. He's not gonna like it, but he's gonna get wedged into mine. I don't care, and at least turn some laps in it.
Yeah.
I don't think Kelly Balson's man enough to do it.
Oh,
His
okay.
his wife definitely 100%.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. I added up bills that I did over the years and spent over the years and stuff like that, and I think I even maybe underestimated it a little bit too.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
what the competition was even like. And I drive a little bit different, like, but they're tough little cars to drive. Me and Jade were up at Sauble there, and I told him, I got out afterwards, and I said that was like 20 qualifying laps. Like, we were getting after it. And Jade and Jordan there at 7:05, they got us steered in the right direction there as well, and bounce ideas off each other. But they're tough little cars to drive.
Well, you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing you guys out there more often. It's always a blast to see you out at the racetrack because it's always a show. Andy, thank you so much for joining me on OnTrack Weekly tonight, and Rylan, I guess we can say as well. His interview debut with me, so we're gonna have to do that again. We're at Sunset. I'm sure he'll be more talkative there, definitely, right? Lots to talk about at the racetrack. But best of luck for the rest of the season, Andy. We'll have you on probably before the end of the year.
Awesome. Thanks, Cam.
Thank you, Andy.
Talk to you. Bye.
All right. So that is Andy Camrath joining us here from the Ontario Legend Cars Sauble Legend Cars. We'll bring on now Thomas Gibbons. And we'll see if we can get him on finally. We'll see if it might just be a really rough internet night today for them out there. I know that we have had success in the past. We'll see. But maybe not. Hard to say. It's trying to join. It's trying, but we'll see. I want to thank Andy and Rylan for joining. And I definitely want to see Kelly Balson out in a legend car now. We'll have to see what comes out of it. I still believe, like I said, the more people that go into the legend cars, I think it's going to make it even more exciting. The fact that they're again upwards of, I think they had over 30 cars for their opener. Unfortunately, there has been some wrecks. That's definitely happened, and it does make it a little bit disappointing. And we'll have to see what we can do about it. There he is.
Hi.
Fashionably late, Thomas, but at least we got there.
Yeah.
How was it, bud? You got out for your opening weekend and first and a second place, and barely a second place because Josh is pretty good at that junior late model stuff. But how'd it go for you, bud?
It went pretty good. It was pretty good for the first night out with the new car. Me and my dad built the car in the off season, and it works pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it looks pretty good in Stickers and Scuffs Victory Lane. You officially can say you are the first racer to do that in a feature. And I was just asking Andy about running at Sauble, and how do you find racing up there?
The competition's pretty good. Everybody's clean, and everybody's nice. Like, you get along with everybody up there.
That's definitely it. And I know it can be tough at times because there's, some weeks there's a little less cars, but you guys actually had a couple more people out there racing with you. Caleb and Wyatt came all the way from Sunset to come join you guys for the second feature. Is this the earliest you've gotten a checkered flag in the season?
Yeah, that was my first ever win in the junior late model.
Was it really? Wow. Okay, so there we go. That's a great start to the year. First
that was
ever
my first
feature win.
one.
First ever feature win. And you had to beat
Mhm.
Josh Davenport to do it. I mean, that's not easy to do. How did it happen?
No. This was a mid-race restart, and I just got the top, and the top was pretty good on Saturday night, and I just got the momentum.
Well, one of the things I can definitely tell you is I was out at Sunset, and that was the coldest I've ever been at a racetrack. How bad was it at the beach?
It was pretty cold. Like, you had to either wear a jacket or your fire suit. You couldn't wear anything else.
Yeah, I definitely felt that way, for sure. I mean, I'm wondering though, Thomas, what are we going to see you racing this year? Are you going to be Sauble the whole season? Are you going to come do some invitationals or come on down to Sunset for a little bit or somewhere else at all?
It's going to be Sauble and then a couple Sunset races.
Awesome. So that's what I want to see. I definitely want to go out there and see you be a part of that because we had a total of 14 junior late models at Sunset. So just think if we had all you guys there as well, we could have over 20. But why should some other junior late model racers come up and join you at Sauble Speedway?
I find Sauble Speedway, it's pretty fun. It's pretty different to the other tracks. It's a tough track to learn, and the competition there is pretty fun, and you'll have a great time if you come up.
Now, in terms of trash talk, I still believe Ollie Ferguson leads the way on trash talk on you. How has the trash talk game improved since we talked in the off season?
I have a victory now, and he doesn't.
Ah! Oh, there we go. There we go, Ollie. You got to get that one back on Thomas, man. It's you know what? It's going to be great this year. I think you got something for Josh if you're able to best him at least once. That's definitely a hard thing to do. Any plans to do something other than junior late models this year, like a potential Bandolero ride for when they come up?
We don't have anything planned for that. Just mostly it's just gonna be testing my dad's other late model.
All right. Well, I love to hear that, especially if you can beat the old man. I don't know. He had he definitely is pretty good at Sauble. So, I think one of the things we want to see is definitely want to see you get out there and continue what you did this week and getting your first win, man. How does that feel? Because it's been a long time coming. I honestly thought that you had a couple feature wins before this. So how does it finally feel to get that first one?
Feels good. I'm in my 4th season, I think. I got a bunch of second place finishes last year, but it feels good to finally win.
Yeah. I think we just got to do that a couple more times where maybe win a championship. That's a good way to finish out the year. But you know what, Thomas, what's the plan for you? I know you want to win every race. That's everybody's goal. But what is some goals for you for the rest of the year?
Just keep improving and be best myself from last year. Like that was my goal last year, to keep doing better than the year before. So hopefully I can get better than a top 3 finish in points. Hopefully a top 2 or maybe the championship.
I love it. It is. Yeah. Nathan Dettwiler says just hop in Dad's late model when he's not looking. So. I mean, you probably could do that. But Thomas, you know what? I know we had some technical gremlins, but we got you on the show tonight because I wanted to talk to somebody who got a win, and I didn't know it was going to be your first feature win. So congratulations. Jamie May says,
Thank you.
Jamie May says that Tom and Thomas on the track together. I'm not sure I'm ready for that. I don't know. I think it sounds like a lot of fun, Jamie. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun, especially if they make contact. Then we're gonna have some fun. If anybody's gonna be moved between you and your dad, who's getting moved?
He'd probably move me.
I don't know if I hear Tom laughing in the background, but is that the truth? That's the question I want to know. Yeah, that's the truth.
Yep.
All right. Well, Thomas Gibbons joining us here on ONTrack Weekly. First live show for you here on G-Force TV. Thomas, you did great. Can't wait to see what you do for the rest of the season. Have a great night, buddy, and best of luck.
Have a great night. You too.
All right. That was our good buddy, Thomas Gibbons from Sauble Speedway. Did a great job. Happy to have racers coming on that get their very first feature win in competition. Not an easy thing to do in this day and age, really. To get any sort of feature win is difficult. And I think for a kid that really he's a really good racer, very clean racer, comes from a great family. I think it's awesome to see that Thomas is getting out there and getting into victory lane. And we're going to bring on, once he joins up, another driver, but he's not new to victory lane. He was actually out there at Peterborough Speedway this past weekend in the mini stock division and really had himself a great showing at the ACC, which was his official big return last year, and really I think was likely the one that could have won that race if some cautions fell a little bit differently. But we're bringing on a driver who got himself back to victory lane in a pretty stacked mini stock feature out at Peterborough Speedway, and that is our buddy Mike Nelson. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
Good, buddy. Thanks for having me on the show. Looking forward to it.
Not a problem. We like to have feature winners on the show, and you didn't waste any time. How'd it go for you?
I mean, I was honestly a little surprised we won the race. We had some issues in the heat races, and the 27 car of Jacob Sutcliffe was much faster than me. And just by kind of starting ahead of him, I got out front and kind of took off. He ended up running me down, but kind of ran out of laps at the end. And I was happy to get my first checker flag at Piro since 2011.
2011? Holy crap.
Yeah, that's the last time I ran full-time mini stocks up here.
I was going to ask, it has been a while. So why getting back into racing now, Mike?
Well, I took some time off. I just want to try some different things in life. And then I started working full-time for BC Race Cars for their race team and got to travel the States and see a bunch of different tracks, being a crew chief for the Trans Am series. And I could never really get rid of that itch for racing, and I hooked up with the Miller Motorsports and the Miller gang, and they had a Dodge Neon, which obviously is my expertise. So I just couldn't help myself, and we kind of dabbled here and there part-time, getting all the issues figured out, and then we had a good run at On Colors last year, so I decided it was time to go chase that championship.
I'll say it was a great run. I was just talking about that before I brought you on the show. I think if the cautions flew a little bit differently, you definitely had a card to win. You're definitely flying that week. And Dave Bragg says #Neon Nation. Definitely all about the neons here. We don't see enough of them anymore, which makes me really sad. Neons apparently, before I was involved in Ontario Motorsports, they were the shit. They were the car that everybody used. And not so much anymore. So it's nice that you're out there
they're
running
still the shit.
Back in the mini stock division, why Peterborough Speedway?
It's where I grew up. My dad used to tech there many years ago, and I've been going there since I was 9 years old. And even though I live in Coburg now, Peterborough will always be my home, and I just love that track. I love everyone that works there, the racers, the fans, everyone's great, and it's just home to me.
I love that you guys got out there. You had a really good field of mini stocks at Peterborough Speedway for the opening night. I know it's been a little bit lower in numbers over the years, but a very solid count. You had some visitors coming in from Sunset Speedway. That's what you guys would definitely want to see, right? Week to week is having some names from all over come out and race. It makes the field a lot more fun.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We definitely had a good field of cars, and it was nice to see some of the Sunset boys come down and play with us, and hopefully they'll keep coming down a little more throughout the year. I know Charlie Smith wants to do some races. Unfortunately, they had a pretty bad accident during the heat races, so I'm hoping they can get that car fixed up and they'll be back out to play.
You were out in that field, and I want to know from Mike Nelson, you've been in racing for a very long time, so who impressed you out in the mini stock field?
Honestly, I was pretty impressed with John Lavelle. He had a surprisingly really fast car, and they always work hard on it. And I know Brad's doing tech this year, which is good. He was very fair and honest in tech and was very thorough. And it's good to see John running good, and hopefully they can stay up front throughout the rest of the season.
I love that we mentioned that. I mean, I think the same thing. I think Brad last year for our podcast was an award winner for the track. Not so much what he did on it, but what he did actually off of it. The fact that he's giving back to his track and puts so much love and appreciation, but not just to the track as a tech person, but also to the competitors. He's always there to help out, and it's exactly the type of person that we want in motorsports. It's a tough job. I don't think a lot of people will understand. Like, you're always the one that people give shit to when there's tech. For yourself, you're running full time this year, battling for a championship. You're gonna do Peterborough full time?
Yes, yeah, we're gonna run Peterborough full time and try to chase that championship. And we're talking about making some trips down Sunset potentially. So we'll see how things play out. But we gotta get a few races under our belt first.
I'm totally on board with that. I want to see some Mike Nelson out there. Now I want to bring the conversation back a little bit because Mike Nelson, is this the Mike Nelson that drove a number 85 in the Ontario Sportsman Series for many years?
Yeah, yeah,
It is.
That was definitely me. The old number 85.
Again, remember, because you drove a Dodge back then too. Beautiful looking Dodge too. Actually, very different colors each year, but that series is still going, still has remnants. Do you know where the old car ended up? I'm curious.
I sold it to Scott Lavenport, and after that, I'm not sure where it went or where it ended up.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's still out there somewhere.
I'll have to ask Kevin Trevlin. He has a good eye on where all the Dodge cars end up, for sure. But it's awesome that you got to go out there. You got yourself a big win in your return. You've been away for so long. Did you really think it was possible first time back out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about racing. If anyone knows me, I'm really hard on myself, so I'm always thinking about how to make the car better and faster and what I can do as a driver to be better out there. And honestly, the stars just kind of lined up for that first feature win. But like I told the Miller boys, I'm like, we just gotta get that first one out of the way, and then the rest of the season will be a little bit easier.
I'm very curious about how the track conditions were. It's not normally this cold at the end of May. It looked very treacherous, not just at Peterborough, but everywhere. Were the conditions very difficult to navigate on the track? Especially getting, I guess, heat into the tires?
Yeah, the track was disgusting to race on, and it's no fault of the crew or anything. That was just a super cold night and couldn't get any heat in the tires, and you're just sliding and hanging on for dear life. Like the car just never really felt into the track, so it was interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad that we got back to at least the 20 degrees today. That would be great if we can just continue that. Trevlin actually says he has a few of your panels still at his race shop. That's Trevlin for you though. He has shit from 2008. I think he put on his car this year from Caitlin Johnston's old NASCAR Canada Series Pizza 01. That's how old we're talking here. So 2008 is the last time that those panels were out on a race car. So obviously you said battling for that championship this year. What's going to be the biggest hurdle for you guys, really? Is it the other competition or is it yourself?
I think we just got to stay on top of maintenance and everything. Just make sure the car is ready each night and kind of stay out of trouble and not piss anyone off. It will be one of the bigger things.
Yeah, I from the field that you saw back in 2011 to now, where is the competition level? How is the car counts? How do you think things are looking?
Everything looks good. Like the competition has definitely gotten better. I think the rules have just advanced. The cars have gone faster with the internet and information at the fingertips. It's a lot easier to kind of figure out what you're trying to do. And the car counts, I've seen them come and go for years. And some years they're 20 plus cars. Some years there's 10 to 12. It just goes in waves. It's just one of those things.
You know what? A wise racer and Amanda Bolson said the exact same thing. She said it peaks and valleys every year. And some years are better and one division will suffer. And then the next year, all of a sudden it's back to normal. And then it's rising. And it just is the way it goes. But Mike, how can people follow along with you? Guys have a social media that we can follow along with your journey this year?
I'm not much of a social media person. I'm trying to be better at it, but I'm just on my Facebook, my Instagram, X, I guess it's called now. Just search up Mike Nelson, you'll find me.
We're definitely going to, and we're excited to see what you've got in store this year. Should be a good battle in the championship this year. I think you're going to have a lot of great faces that'll be out there battling with you. I think there's a name, like I said, Dave Bragg in there. He's on the way up. You definitely have Tegan Stanley's going to come in and run a couple races, being a part of the mini stocks. Not sure about Chris Tubman, but Rob Crick's definitely back out there, second in the championship last year. And you know what? I'm going to put Tyler McMurder in there as well. The kid's getting better and better every year. 5th in points last year. Nolan Gould, see what he can do, because he's always tough. There's a good field of racers out there, so we're excited to have you on SNS. And thank you for joining me on ONTrack tonight on G-Force TV.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, buddy. It was great to be here and great to be on the show.
Anytime. We'll definitely have you on before the end of the season and talk about how things are going later on. Maybe we'll talk about a championship. Who knows? But
I hope so.
That's great. Thank you so much. That's Mike Nelson here on ONTrack Weekly. Really great to have Mike as a part of the show and have him coming back to motorsports in 2025. That's what seems to be what happens is you kind of get the folks come in and the folks leave. This guy that we've got coming on right now, Nathan Dettwiler, is getting the opportunity to step back into the bone stocks where, he's been pretty successful. He went out and did some street stock racing. He's been doing some hot rod racing for the last couple of seasons, and now he's back, and he parked it in Victory Lane for the first bone stock feature out at Full Throttle Motor Speedway. Nathan, buddy, how's it feel to be back in Victory Lane in 2025? It has been a while.
Yeah, it's felt really, really good, honestly, because after 23 taking home the championship and then 24 just didn't see Victory Lane at all. It puts a damper in your step. So to come out really strong in the lowball racing number 4 car for Mike there for opening night, I got 2 4th place finishes, which I was right on the bumper of the top 3 guys. So I was really happy with that. And then I raced this past Saturday, obviously, but Mike messaged me saying, "Hey, I'm available, but do you still want to race?" And I'm like, "I know it's your car, but I'm itching. I know that win is there. I want to try one more time." And so he let me have the ride again and parked in a Victory Lane right there. Started on the pole and took off and didn't look back.
Well, let's talk about this whole thing, because officially this isn't your team. This is lowball racing. This is Mike Etzel's program. They put, I want to say 6 to 7 cars out there routinely. They help a lot. Duncan Off-Road helps a lot. You guys have, I believe right now, aside from Delaware Speedway, Full Throttle has the biggest bone stock field weekly in the province. Yeah. And from what I saw from, I'm going to butcher it, Richard Burfield's, is it RDB videography?
Yeah, RDB videography. That's actually my uncle. Well, yeah. Uncle-in-law. It's the wife's uncle.
There we go. What I saw from those videos is it's not as what we see at Delaware, where a guy gets out in front and starts, murdering the rest of the field.
No,
it was close.
It's close. Like I'm talking, between last weekend there, where I finished 4th in both those features, I'm talking all 4 of us were bumper to bumper. Like, yes. It was Nick Clark, Dustin, Austin Hunt, and then me, I think, in the second feature. I can't remember how the order was the other way around. Well, Nick won both, so we know Nick won that.
Yes.
But yeah,
Dustin was second in both, I believe.
Yeah, and then, I think I remember who was 3rd in the first feature. Doesn't matter. But I'm talking, we were bumper to bumper. Like there was no car length in between us. So if that doesn't tell you how close the racing is from 1st to 5th, actually, our top 10 cars are all really close. Really, really close.
Absolutely. And that, you know what? I think you kind of had to get some of the cobwebs shaken out week 1. It was pretty obvious that you guys had some. It was a little rough. Yeah. It was a pretty tough start. There were lots of accidents, and I think that is what has been the. Unfortunately, that is the vibe that people get. But yeah, I don't think that there's any debating that you guys actually do have one of the most stacked divisions and one of the most loyal. Your guys show up every week.
every week, like
Every
consistent.
week.
And there's minimum 15 of us bone stock drivers that are there every weekend, at least 15.
Yeah.
And then you got the ones that just, they aren't planning on running a full schedule. We know that, but they're still there every other week at least, if not 3 weeks in a row, 1 week off kind of thing. We got the McNichols. I don't know if they're running a full schedule with us this year, but that's 2 cars right there on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of new faces this year. I think we have 7 or 8 rookies.
Yeah.
Right there. And they've shown up every week so far. So I'm assuming they'll be there for the rest of the season. But lots of new faces this year in the bone stocks. Lots of people learning. But that's the thing. It's an entry level class. So you gotta be ready for it. And they're giving us lots of room. They're looking at the flags. They're doing their job. They're not getting in the way. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the guys, and I hope they learn lots. And I hope I get to battle them hard in a year or two.
You know what I was really impressed with in the videos, again, like I said, your lap traffic, exactly what you just said. They know what they're supposed to do. The cars that are really slow, get out of the way. Only a couple times did I see somebody maybe that looked a little nervous, which, hey.
Yeah. Well,
you're going to be.
I know 2 cars that you're talking about. They're young. They're learning. And I guarantee you, I know exactly what they were thinking is looking forward, trying not to wreck. They're not looking at the flag guy. They're not looking in the mirror. And that's not their fault. Yeah. That's our job as the veteran drivers, is to look out for them, because I don't want to deter them. I don't want to scare them. I don't want them out of my way. I want them to learn and do better and improve for themselves, so that way they can make themselves better. I don't want to scare them away or think that I don't want them out there. Believe me, I want as many guys out there as we can fit on that track, because I like a challenge. If I gotta
I think that's what's great about it too, is, and a good point from Calvin Reeser, a weekly racer in the bone stock division out at Sunset Speedway. He says, I find Delaware numbers a tad inflated because they don't have a mini stock division, which is fair. He'd be curious to see what the numbers would look like if they did have a mini stock division. Would you have all those names in bone stocks? I actually wouldn't mind seeing a mini stock division, since they're going to do the big mini stock invitational out there. Right before the show started, thank you, Paul, for posting news right before I do my show. Like, thank you. How about this news that you guys have? Paul's going to put $500 towards bone stocks going to Peterborough for their invitational. If they win, they get $500 added to their purse for when they return. As a racer in the bone stock division and somebody who loves running Peterborough, how does this feel for you?
Honestly, like, I wasn't planning on going. I don't know what the schedule looks like for next weekend. I can't remember if I'm racing for Mike next weekend or not, because we're trying to go for a championship. That's our goal.
Yep.
But if we're not racing next weekend, or at least I'm not racing next weekend, and Mike's not racing next weekend, I think I'm going to try really, really hard to see if I can convince them to bring that car there, because they build rocket ships, man. Like, that thing is fast.
Well, and it looks it. It looks very, very good. Now, is that a new build? Do we know, or is that a car from last year?
That's his car from last year. It's just, I think they've gone over this whole thing and just made it top notch, man. Like, my Ford, it's fast. Like, I definitely was, like, I was door to door with these guys, but it does not have the power that the Cobalts have. Like, my car was 30 less horsepower than all those Cobalts. So I always had to make sure that I was very smooth and very consistent in my corners, so that way I don't lose momentum, because if I lost that momentum, they're gone and I would never see them again. So, but now being in a Cobalt, I understand how these guys are so fast. They don't corner as well. They're definitely, like, they almost feel like you're driving compared to my little Ford Escort that I had. It was a huge learning curve. I spun it out a lot in practice the first time I drove it. So
I have good news for you.
What's that?
Hot rods and bone stocks are off that night. So I don't know, Mike Etzel, you might be getting a call. I love this though. This is excellent stuff. Honestly, I love this call.
When I read that, I'm like, there's no way the car count at Peterborough should be low now, especially now it entices us bone stock drivers from Full Throttle to tow down there. So I guarantee this field is going to be stacked now.
The
If it
funny
wasn't,
thing, the funny thing in Nathan is that they were already looking really good for their bone stock numbers this year. So now you all of a sudden add all these Full Throttle guys potentially going down. I mean,
if I know these guys, and I think I would like to say I think I do. There should be at least 10 of them, 8 to 10 of them going.
yeah.
So
I'm just saying. I know he's a little busy because he kind of does the race directing, but Tim, come on, man. They've got a bone stock. It's Peterborough. He loves that track. That would be a place to go.
Actually, yeah, that's true too. He's got a lot of builds in the middle, and they are fast. I don't want to say because I think he's trying to keep a secret, but they are going to be rockets.
I love to hear that. I think it, and especially for Full Throttle, you guys, again, I feel like they get the short end of the stick a lot, but I'm not going to lie. I'm loving the videos, and that's, I think, the biggest thing that has been missing.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to do it.
Yeah. Richard, he's been doing awesome, and he's there. Like, he has his spot. He prepays it. He's got a hole worn down from where he's standing for like turning back and forth, moving the camera. And that's not talking. It's gone down probably 6-7 inches just from him standing there. But he does a great job making sure they get posted as fast as they can. And it's just a non-biased video. So if there's something that happens, people can look back on it like, boom, there's your proof. There's not your proof. And then use it how you will. So
we've talked about this before on the podcast, and it is so important in 2025 that we're doing pictures, we're doing videos. You need as much press as possible. How do I know what's going on in your division? I watch the videos.
Exactly.
Right? Race Monitor is great, but I want to see what happened. So if there's a red flag, I want to see what happened.
Yeah, it only tells you a little bit of the story. You know the order, you know the speeds, but you don't know what happened and how you got there.
You've been in the racing deal for a long time, Nathan.
A little bit.
A little bit. You just mentioned some of the new names coming into the bone stock division. You've been out there racing. Who's caught your eye?
Honestly, Austin Hunt. He got his first win in the second feature. He's been working his butt off this will be his second season. Third or second, I want to say second season, but he's been working his butt off in the springtime, in the fall. Like, racing season was over last year, and he was still on the track till they closed the track down. Like, he was putting laps in, putting the work in, and it finally paid off last weekend. And I'm super proud of him. I stayed in victory lane. I didn't want to take the spotlight away from him, but I needed to high five that kid, man. He worked hard to get that win. So really pumped about that. Damien, the number 11. He's doing really awesome. He's learning a lot. He's come a long way since last year when he came in. Josh Clark, honestly, it's in his blood, man. So that's a kid. He's going to be up there really soon. He's got one hell of what's the word I'm looking for? A mentor to teach him the ropes. So there's no doubt that kid's going to be in victory lane very, very soon. Trying to think, there's lots. That's the thing. It's hard to choose from. Julia Boss, she's always done really well. She's very consistent lately. Always fast, always there. So I'm hoping she can get a good finish, a good top 3, a win out of all this effort she's been putting in. So honestly, Dustin Johnson obviously is an awesome one to choose from. You know he's going to do well every night. He's very consistent, very fast, and he's got winning in his bones, man. He seems
to me the next logical move up driver, like Austin Etzel was. Dustin seems to me like if he wants to go, I mean, he got the opportunity with Bob Stewart, and he finished second in both mini stock. I mean, mini stock would seem the logical place for him to go next. But wherever he goes, I think he'll be good. The kid is so young still. I think he's only like
he's got
16, 17, something.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to think. He's Peyton's 16, so he's got to be 16, 17.
And that's amazing to get around there. The way that he's able to navigate. He was right there with you as well. And that's the thing is it's a skill to be able to make it to the end of a race. It's a skill to be able to make it to at the end of a race at Varney. It's another skill to be able to get second place. I think it's 4 consecutive for him to start the season. It might be off by 1, but that's insane.
Yeah, his motto this season, this is not a jab at him, is always the bridesmaid, but never the bride. But
yeah.
This season, there's no doubt in my mind I'm going to be battling him for a win this year. So, and I know it'll be clean. I know it'll be fast. So I'm waiting for it and I'm ready for it.
That's the thing I like to see as well. The bone stock racing can get really rough, but it looked very clean. It was very nice to see. Good passes. Not a ton of people getting in the way or anything like that. It looked really good.
Like, obviously, we bumped going through the corners, a couple of the lap traffic, like not intentional whatsoever. They just didn't realize I was there. We bumped, whatever. I know how to drive. They know how to drive. We just move on our merry way. I have no animosity towards anybody out there. So we're doing a great job. We're having a blast. I'm having a really good time helping out Peyton with his Mustang. We've done so much work to that in the off season. Like, it's crazy what that car was last year to what it is now and how much that thing has improved. Like, I know he's aiming for the stars with this thing, and he's really out with his results lately, but I don't think he realizes how far he's come and how much better he's gotten. So, Peyton, if you're watching, dude, keep at it. That win's coming for you too. Don't you worry. I know that's not bone stock related, but me and Peyton have gotten really close lately. So I've gotten I wouldn't say a soft spot for him, but I really have high hopes for this kid because this kid, he puts the work in. He knows how to drive himself. I've been teaching him a lot, and now it's kind of at the point where I can just kind of take a step back and just let him do his thing.
I like to hear it, and that's a positive way to end it. Nathan Dettwiler back in victory lane with Lowball Racing. Anybody you want to thank before you end your time on the show?
Honestly, I just want to thank Tim Tolton mostly just for the opportunity in the hot rod again this year. We got that thing all fixed up, and it feels like it's a lot faster. It definitely is faster. My lap times have improved. We definitely got some room for improvement yet, so we're going to get that done this week and ready for this weekend. I also got to thank Mike and Lowball Racing for giving me an opportunity in a bone stock again and just giving me a rocket ship and just let me have fun. Like this whole season, I've just was taking a step back to slow down. And I feel like I've done that, and now I'm enjoying with racing at its core, I guess you could say. I don't know how else to explain that. It's just there's a lot less stress involved, I guess, when it's not my equipment. I don't know if but it's just I'm having a blast this season. I can't wait to see what next weekend brings. To be honest.
Well, definitely excited. We'll be continuing to follow it along with Only Fours as they cover all the bone stock racing across the province. So definitely, Nathan, best of luck for the rest of the season. You know we'll be supporting you and be following what's going on at Varney. Thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, guys. Have a good one.
All right, that is Nathan Dettwiler here on ONTrack Weekly. And you know what? Guys, we made it through there. I mean, we had a couple of technical snafus, but we made it through. I think that's always a plus. We had a decent audience at the start, and we fell a little bit off, but it's a nice night for the first time in forever. So that makes sense why we've had a bit of a drop, but we're right at the end of the show. So you know what that means? That means I need some thumbs up. We need to share. And if you haven't already subscribed to GeForce TV, I want to thank everybody for coming on the show tonight. Thomas Gibbons, Andy Camrath, Nathan Dettwiler, and of course Mike Nelson. All these guys coming off of a victory. They came off from a busy weekend of racing, and to come on this show and chat for a couple minutes means the world. And of course, to have an audience like you guys coming in and participating means the world as well. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a great week, everybody. Make sure you come back here tomorrow. Race Rivals Race Chat, Adam Ross, Clinton Jeffrey, and then, of course, Racing at the Big O, only on GeForce TV. Check it out, and we'll see you hopefully at a racetrack this weekend. Stay safe, everybody. We'll catch you then. Have a great night.